It's tough to find many Alabama supporters in the heart of Bulldog country, but WJBF's Brad Means has been walking that lonely road ever since he left Tuscaloosa.
Hello, everybody. As a newscaster, it's such a privilege to be welcomed into your homes each night. But as an Alabama fan, it can feel downright lonely in these parts. And coming from a place that prides itself on pachyderms, sometimes I feel like the elephant in the room. When I'm with my family, I feel all the Alabama love a man and a fan could want. Outside of that support system, though, it's clear that I am far away from Crimson Tide territory. Cecil, I need some Alabama gear. Can you hook me up? But Cecil could not hook me up. Rack after rack of Georgia stuff at his store. A room full of red and black where Roll Tide means nothing. We're about to have the national championship game. Why don't you have any gear for one of the teams?
We're not a team sports store, so we kind of get location-based.
You have Georgia stuff?
We do. We're in Georgia.
Yes, Cecil, we're definitely in Georgia.
Come on, everybody! Come on!
A fact painfully reinforced when I rocked my crimson at the corner of Bobby Jones Expressway and Washington Road, a place I shall now call the intersection of insults.
Roll Tide! That man just said, "You suck, go Dogs." That's not very nice. Woo! Roll Tide! Augustins are usually so nice. No! You're holding out the wrong finger.
My family feels it too. My son Sam and his high school basketball teammates are typically tight, but not when the Dogs and the Tide square off. The loneliness of the Bama fan in Bulldog country is real. Sometimes it's so tough you just don't want to get out of bed. But you have to wake up and face the real world. Your team needs you. Maybe I'll just watch the game at a local hangout. Starting to get the feeling that I've wandered back into Bulldog Nation. But even with all this dog decor, all these walls with all this memorabilia, the crew at Carolina Ale House assures me there's a place for me here on game day.
All fans are welcome here. Doesn't matter what team you're going for. Everybody kind of plays along with each other, and everybody's welcome.
So go ahead and cheer for those Bulldogs all you want, but please remember the plight of the Alabama fan. Love us. Be nice to us. Put yourself in our shoes.
It might just be a few degrees above freezing, but there's a national championship on the line. The fans and the Dogs out here braving the weather.
You see the weather, it's cold, it's rainy, but you know the Dog fans, they always come up, they show out.
The rain, the sleet, the snow, no hail, but we're going to give them hail.
The weather is an afterthought today. Just a few blocks north of Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta, Dog fans bringing the big rigs out in full force, including Harry's Doghouse from Lincolnton, Georgia.
SEC Championship Part 2. Just got to beat both of the best teams. To be the best, you got to beat the best, and that's what we're getting.
The energy is palpable. Like, you can feel it, you can hear it. People are honking and screaming already, tailgating at 9:30 in the morning.
These are the hardcore fans pulling into town several days before the championship game to reserve their spaces. And for some, right back where they experienced last month's SEC championship win.
We were in the same exact spot, baby. I haven't missed a game. Every home game I've been to the SEC championship, I was at the Rose Bowl, and now we're here, the big game.
Alabama is playing in its third straight national championship, while Dog fans have had to be a little more patient. A starved fan base, some may say, making them that much hungrier for a title.
1980, we've been waiting a long time. Just a little memory of the trip to New Orleans back in 1980 when we won the last national championship that the Dogs won.
Where did you get it?
Buy anything on eBay.
I didn't make it to the 1980 game. I made the next 2 years after that. We got beat both times. But long time coming.
Will the starvation continue, or will the Dogs finally feast on their first national championship in 37 years? We'll find out Monday night. It was one of the most electric national championship game atmospheres that we've had in quite some time, and it was thrilling right through its overtime finish. But ultimately for Dog fans, it ends in heartbreak as their team blows a 13-point third-quarter lead, and the Tide gets its 5th title in 9 seasons.
In overtime, we didn't finish when we had to, and Alabama did. And to give them credit, but I think everybody can see that Georgia's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I mean, it can hurt you a lot.
Final game, man. 2nd and 26.
That's how the game ended in overtime, 2nd and 26, as Alabama moved the ball much more effectively after starting its backup quarterback in the second half.
Man, it hurt, but it hurts to the heart, because you've been working so long for this opportunity, for this moment. 15 games is a long season in college, and I'm just thankful to be one of the last 2 teams to stand in.
For several seniors, including running back Sony Michel, it was a bitter end to their Bulldog careers, but most chose to take a more positive perspective.
I'm gonna just remember it, my last time playing with these guys. They laid it on the line. They gave it all they had.
It's a great journey, like 5 years, finally going to the national championship your last year. Like, it's big. Like, words can't describe how proud I am of this team.
It's a blessing, man. I played in the Rose Bowl in LA, and I just played in my home turf for the national championship. Fell short to a dynasty, and man, we got to move on.
Well, these seniors, Nick, Sony, and all the guys on defense and on offense, they've definitely set a standard of Georgia football. And, I really want to continue that, set that standard, set the bar high, and hope to be back next year.
Certainly a tough scene in the Georgia locker room, as it was the final game for a lot of those players, including senior John Atkins, the graduate from Thompson High School, as the confetti was crimson-colored tonight instead of Bulldog red. And Nick Saban earns his 6th national championship, tying him with the great Bear Bryant for most all-time. Reporting from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Nathan Palm, WJBF Sports.
The 3rd-ranked Clemson Tigers opened ACC play with their most dominant performance of the season. The defense set the tone early, scoring the first touchdown of the game, and then freshman quarterback Trevor Lawrence took over, scoring 4 touchdowns on 5 possessions en route to a 49-21 win. But head coach Dabo Swinney wasn't quite ready to announce a change at quarterback.
Well, he certainly played great, and I thought Kelly came back in and did a good job too. But you know what? We're going to enjoy it tonight. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to set depth charts here in the post-game press conference. We're going to celebrate a win, enjoy it, and as coaches, we'll get in the office tomorrow. We'll evaluate, watch all the tape, and we'll go from there, just like we do every week. But that's where we're at.
I feel like I've always been ready to start, but like I said, it's not my decision, and what we're doing right now is working out well. We're 4-0, so whatever they want to do, I'm all for.
Georgia Tech entered the game with the nation's top rushing offense, but for the 4th straight year, the Tigers outrushed the Yellow Jackets and held them nearly 250 yards below their average.
We know they were leading the nation in rushing, and we don't want to be one of those teams that they can add to that. You know what I'm saying? We want to be one of those teams where, they had a bad game and be one of the reasons why they're not leading the nation in rushing, because they played so bad against us, or we played so well. So we take a lot of pride in just that, which every game. We don't want people to run the ball. If you can stop the run, you have a good chance of winning.
And with the win, Dabo Swinney becomes the first Clemson coach to secure 4 straight victories over Georgia Tech.
I'm super proud because I've been here, this is my 16th season now, so I've had 16 games against Georgia Tech, 17 if you want to count the ACC championship. So I've played these boys a lot, and I've been a part of some tough losses over the years. So I'm really proud of it.
So in a rivalry that began back in 1898, Clemson wins 4 straight over Georgia Tech for just the 3rd time ever. Up next, the Tigers return to Death Valley to host Syracuse, the only team that beat them in the regular season last year. As for Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets dropped to 1-3 on the season for the first time since 2003. They'll try to snap their losing streak next weekend against Bowling Green.
I'm just glad they found it now.
I don't want to be, picking him up off the field. I want my son here, and that's what I told him.
I could have been dead on the football field.
A.J. Gray probably had as good a spring as anybody on our football team. I think he's got the opportunity to be one of the all-time great players at Georgia Tech.
Full house backfield. Two tailbacks and an H-back. A play fake. Sherrod looking to launch. Guns it over the middle, and that is intercepted. A.J. Gray.
I can never say I got a chance to play in the NFL, practice, or anything.
And A.J. Gray with his second career interception.
Growing up in the small town of Sandersville, Georgia, A.J. Gray was a standout in the classroom and as a multi-sport athlete at Washington County High School. And when he was on the football field, he was nearly unstoppable.
There was a video game growing up called Tecmo Bowl, and if you ever chose Bo Jackson, you were going to score every play. And when A.J. Gray played at Washington County High School, it was like playing Tecmo Bowl and playing with Bo Jackson.
In a third-round playoff game his senior year, Gray rushed for 442 yards and 8 touchdowns on just 17 carries. He led the Golden Hawks to consecutive state championship game appearances, was named a Parade All-American and Gatorade Player of the Year.
When you saw those gold shoes, it was magic. When I watched him walk out on the field, I had no fear. I didn't care if we were playing the University of Georgia. I felt like we had a fighting chance when he was back there.
Gray chose to continue his career at Georgia Tech, where he earned the starting job at free safety as a sophomore. And after 2 successful seasons leading the Yellow Jackets defense, Gray was preparing for a crucial senior year, until a doctor's appointment in May changed everything.
Well, I was fine at first until me and my parents saw Coach Johnson get out the elevator, and then it was like, well, this can't be good because he rarely shows up at a doctor's appointment.
You know, the head coach don't come to a checkup. So that was my first indication that maybe this wasn't going to be a really good meeting.
We knew it was something serious when they called him.
A scan of his heart showed an enlarged aorta, presumably caused by the rigor and stress of college football. The medical staff determined his life was at risk if he continued playing. And just as his dreams of the NFL were taking shape, his playing career was over.
I just felt like, I can't believe it's true. My career is ending.
I'm over there, I'm consoling AJ, rubbing his back. He's pretty upset, and all of a sudden the room starts spinning on me. So I literally I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm about to pass out. So I told the doctor to keep talking, and I literally had to lay on the floor because it was like a sledgehammer that hit me.
It was a hard day, the whole day. And I was speechless the whole day, and I was like, well, I tried to look at the bright side of it. Life goes on. There's life beyond sports.
I said, son, that's life. One week you talking to a scout and you're starting to get interest from some credible agents. I said, then the next week, life happens. The hardest thing for any parent is to see your children's dreams not fulfilled. But you have to put it into perspective. You have to understand what the alternative could have been. And like we talked about, you can still fulfill that dream. You have to do it in a different way.
One moment changed his life. And although he'll never again suit up on Saturday or feel the thrill of playing on Sunday, he's still alive. And now he can pursue a new future.
I already knew what my plan B was, either get a job with my IT degree or get into coaching. It was very important to stay around and not just give up just because I can't play. It don't mean I can't coach them up and push them to their best potential. I'm very excited to see where it takes me and what I end up doing.
I used to tell my kids, you never know who's watching you. You always be at your best, because you never know who's watching you, whether it's a child, whether it's an adult, whether it's somebody that needs encouragement. I said, just by you walking on that field, and you can encourage some people by the way you handle what you're going through. We don't know why this happened. You can't question, why things happen. We certainly don't question God. And I told him, but something's gonna come out of this. It gives you a testimony. It gives you something where you can share and then you can maybe encourage somebody and talk about what happened to you and how you handled it, and it may encourage somebody else. So I say you're a vessel, and through you, you may help somebody else.
This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and I want to be great at it.
Greatness knows no age.
It was the second shot on the par 4 at Torrey Pines. I had to hit it under a tree and cut it through a bunker. Very narrow. It's like threading a needle.
9-year-old Luke Parsons executed that shot to win his second Junior World Championship.
Congratulations. I love hitting hard shots under pressure.
His memory and attention to detail are simply remarkable.
The year he won at Pinehurst, how many times did you play that course? 40 times?
Yeah, 40.
Yeah.
Like we play it like 40 times to the point where we remember every single yard. And there's that triangle to the right.
Luke's father, Tim, introduced him to golf when he was 4.5 years old.
I think part of it is just being obsessed with detail, like with me when I'm doing microsurgery.
I like visualizing the putt going in.
And now that methodical, surgical approach has guided Luke to golf's hallowed grounds.
I've never been to the Masters.
But that changes on April 1st.
Many pros play there and many people go there, but I'm actually going there to compete and win.
That's right, Luke is one of 80 finalists who will compete in the 5th annual drive, chip, and putt competition at Augusta National, and the first from the CSRA.
It means a lot to me. I mean, this is like a small golf course, and it feels great to represent it.
We're 45 minutes from Augusta, and it's just phenomenal that we have a kid that plays and practices here that will compete to drive, chip, and putt.
Luke practices at Sweetwater Country Club in Barnwell, but his family moved from the Bay Area of California to Sally, South Carolina 5 years ago.
The staff at Pebble Beach said, really, the golf is southeast. The Medical College of Georgia and USC, they wanted me to come here as a consultant, and we looked right between those two spots, and it was Sally.
Luke has certainly made his community proud, but it's a full-time gig playing over 80 tournaments a year as just a 9-year-old.
Yeah, I think I took a day off on last year. It was Christmas. We played on my birthday,
Did
right?
you play?
Yeah.
He has fun with his remote control cars and airplanes, and we balance things out.
Check the wind.
It's in my back and blowing left.
But when it's time to practice, it's time to practice.
He is very serious about what he does. I mean, a lot of kids come out, want to drive the carts, have fun. He's focused about what he does.
And it shows, especially in competition.
Oh, too hard.
Looks pretty good. That looks pretty good.
Yes!
Close it right there. This kid's on.
Goodness. But it's only the beginning for young Luke, who expects to return to Augusta National down the road.
I'm going there to compete and win. I think when I turn pro and I'm right there, I'm going to remember that moment.
Bamberg beat Barnwell in the lower state championship a year ago. All right, in Bamberg, Earhart, Red Raiders have won 7 out of 14, or 7 straight. 14 of the last 15. Robert Williams trying to keep that streak alive. Dwayne Garrett trying to knock off Bamberg for the first time since 2011. After a sloppy first quarter that saw 3 turnovers between the two teams, Barnwell gets on the board. Craig Pender to Jordan Odom. Incredible fingertip catch. Barnwell takes the lead 7-0. Later in the second quarter, after another Bamberg turnover, Brandon Harvey takes the pitch for the touchdown. Warhorses up 14-0. But in the second half, Red Raiders dominated early. Daleel Wilkins takes the handoff, squeezes through traffic for the 5-yard touchdown, makes it 14-7. Barnwell still in front. Then the defense scored back-to-back touchdowns. First, Deshaun Gray gets the pick 6 off Craig Pender. Extra point blocked, so Raiders trail 14-13. Next possession, Pender scrambling and fumbles it. Keyshawn Brown scoops it, scores it. Bamberg's leading 20-14. But in the fourth quarter, Pender would respond in a big way. Touchdown to Jordan Odom. Barnwell retaking the lead 21-20. Last chance here for Bamberg. Red Raiders botched the exchange on the handoff, ball on the ground. It looked like Bamberg had it, but there we go. Officials point Barnwell's way. That ices the game. Dwayne Garrett going home smelling like Gatorade.
It's a big win for our program.
I thought our kids played well the last 2 series there, both on offense and defense. I thought Deshaun Watson played a super football game on defense, and just proud of our kids altogether. I mean, it's big for me. I got a lot of things going on right now, so it's really, really big for me too. But it's more about these kids than it is me. But tonight we just gonna celebrate a region championship and be glad that we finally had a chance to win the region.
Great win for a great guy and a great program.
The South Carolina high school basketball playoffs are down to the final 4 teams in each class, and 4 local schools were in Greenville vying for upper state championships on Friday, and we begin on the boys' side in Class 1A as Ridge Spring Minetta faced Louisville. Trojans trailed by 7 at the break but battled back in the second half. First, Jerry Tyler lays it in, and then later, game now tied, Johnny Freeman drives, goes off glass to put the Trojans up 2. But with less than 30 seconds remaining, game once again tied. Demetric Harden drives, slips, throws up a wild shot. That's off the mark. Tyler grabs the rebound, races the other way, puts up a little scoop shot. That doesn't fall, but Melvin Allowine right there for the offensive rebound and put back at the buzzer as Ridge Spring Minetta knocks off Louisville 60-58, and the Trojans are heading to the state championship.
I told the guys, I said, if they score, get it out real fast and attack the goal. We're either going to miss it or we're going to win it. And that's what I told them. And hey, evidently it failed.
We just kept fighting. That's all we can do. We was down 16 last week, so it was 7 this week. We felt like it was too easy.
I mean, this, for us, upper state championship has been a long time. I think the last state championship was in 1952. So, hey, it's a great day to be a Trojan.
The Trojans will play top-ranked Hemingway in the state championship next Saturday at noon in Columbia. In 4A, South Aiken was looking to keep its magical season alive. T-Bread's taking on Ridgeview. The Blazers got off to a fast start in this one, though. Doesn't hurt when you've got the tallest man on the floor. Malcolm Wilson cleans up the mess down low with a putback dunk. Ridgeview led by 7 in the first. T-Breads closed the gap in the second, though. First, it's Dre Patterson with the block, and then Davion Burnett with the swat. It was a 1-point game at the half, but the Blazers regained control in the second half. Wilson hammers it home, and South Aiken's remarkable run ends in the state semifinals. Final score 60-47.
Great season. We're proud to be here. I don't think anyone thought we would be. So it's great to be in the upper state championship. You know, it stinks to lose, but we're proud of these guys. But, you know, I'm proud of their effort. They fought the whole way through. You know, it'd be one thing if we just laid down and gave up, and we didn't. They were just a good team. They played better tonight.
News Channel 6's Samantha Williams is covering the Peach Jam.
Hundreds have walked through the doors of the new and improved Riverview Park facility. And although officials did not let media speak with any of the players or the coaches, I did speak with some of the parents who say what happens in this building has the potential to change the lives of the players.
So this is going to be our last Peach Jam.
The Nike Peach Jam is nothing new for 17-year-old Davion Harmon. He competed in the tournament last year, and his team, the Houston Hoopers, off to a good start this go-around. The first games tipped off at 5 Wednesday night. The Hoopers up against the PSA Cardinals. And tied with 1 second on the clock, the Texas team shot the winning goal.
And that's what we do. That's the team we have, and that's what we do. We make big-time shots.
Even as a 3-year-old, Harmon has been shooting hoops. He plays for a team back home, USAT, who won the U16 last year. And the family just got back to the States yesterday from Argentina, bringing home a world championship title. Harmon, approaching his senior year, already has his future laid out.
He verbally committed to Oklahoma, OU, and then, well, you know, every child's goal to go to the NBA.
But for 15-year-old JaQuincy McKinstry, this is all a first. Bowling with the WACGs out of Nashville, his squad was defeated by team final. Harmon's family, though, not losing hope.
There's a lot of people on this team that can bring it. I mean, when I say bring it, we're going to have a dogfight.
It's said to be basketball's biggest recruiting showcase. This 23rd annual Peach Jam welcomes the nation's top players. And just about every big-time coach will be in the gyms, scouting out future athletes.
A lot of these kids were born into it. They've been doing it since the 4th grade, you know. It runs through their blood.
And the event continues to grow. and so has the Riverview Park facility. Just this year, a concourse, restrooms, and a concession stand were added. And costing $5 million, 2 new courts sit in the middle of it all, making room for an additional 12 teams to showcase their skills.
This must be new because I've never been in this gym, but that's really good. So now it opens up for more room.
This is a 4-day event with the champions facing off on Sunday at 2. I'll post the full schedule on our website, WJBF.com. In North Augusta, Samantha Williams, WJBF News Channel 6.
The Georgia Bulldogs rolled into Columbia on a mission, and they will head back to Athens with a statement win and a truckload of confidence after embarrassing the Gamecocks 41-17 in both teams' SEC opener.
You know, people, obviously we're kind of saying we lost a lot, kind of doubting us a little bit. We're willing to come out and say, hey, Georgia's for real this year, and, we're going to be here for a while.
If it's a statement to everybody else, it is. We already knew what we had, and we were very confident coming in, and we knew confident coming into the season, and we're just here now.
Georgia wearing South Carolina down using their ground game, running the ball 52 times for 271 yards.
I think that's a big thing. It's always being able to play on the road in the SEC. You got to be able to take the crowd out of the game. Well, you do that by being physical, dominate the line of scrimmage, and you do that, the stands will be empty in the fourth quarter.
I mean, we just got whipped. I mean, we got moved off the line of scrimmage. We didn't tackle as well. We didn't get lined up a couple times. I mean, we just, that's just something that's very frustrating and correctable, and we'll get it corrected. And that's on me.
It was all part of Kirby Smart's plan to put the game away in the second half.
I think they were kind of wore down more than we were. Our mentality is come out second half, just be physical and run it down their throat, as we did.
I think you ask anybody in the country, when you can break somebody's will physically running the ball, it's very demoralizing. And that's what I felt like happened in the second half. And that's what we try to pride ourselves on doing, that, being physical. And we're going to continue to do that, guys. We've got a long way to go. I know you guys are going to write, this is a great win. It is a great win. But at the end of the day, we have to get better. We made too many bonehead mistakes that when we play a better team, that we will struggle. And that's the goal for us, is to continue to get better.
As for what's next, both teams will step back out of conference play as Georgia will welcome Middle Tennessee State. South Carolina will host Marshall. Reporting from Williams-Brice Stadium, Brendan Robertson, WJBF News Channel 6.
That's exactly right. It was just like last week's script. The Panthers got off to that great start, had the big lead. Everybody at Bank of America Stadium saying, hey, we got a big lead. This time we got to hold on to it. And Ron Rivera would say afterwards that it wasn't he or the coaching staff that said something about holding on to this lead. It was Cam Newton and some of the players. They got together and said, hey, we got to go out and keep pounding, keep playing, and keep pouring it on. And they did just that, winning 49-15 was that final score. Being in the locker room, being around the guys, they like playing with one another. They really like the way this team gets together. There's a genuine love of this Carolina Panther football team. 17-1, 18 games, 17 victories. Almost hard to believe as you look at this Carolina Panther football team. But this is a squad that's headed to the Super Bowl with lots of confidence, playing for one another.
I've never been with a group of guys that is this special. We love each other. We're playing. I'm not playing for myself. I'm playing for Cox. I'm playing for Peanut. I'm playing for T. I'm playing for everybody. And that's why this is so special to me.
Just playing sound, fundamental defense. Everybody doing their job. Everybody playing on point. And guys is making plays. We got a lot of guys that make plays. And tonight it showed.
It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling after it being so long, such a long drought for this team, making it to the NFC Championship game, for us to actually come in front of our home crowd and win this game, huge honor, great feeling, and we just decided to share it with our fans.
It was surprising, man. We know those guys is good. I mean, they're in the NFC Championship for a reason. We respect them, but we felt that we was a great team, and we just had to come out and playing great.
The great thing about this is all year long, the Carolina Panthers have not gotten the recognition and the respect they deserve. And it kind of reminds me of like Charlotte did when I was mayor. And sometimes as North Carolina, people don't know that we're in the big time now. North Carolina's the 9th biggest state. The city of Charlotte's unbelievable, and the Carolina Panthers are going to the Super Bowl. So the governor's headed to the Super Bowl. Thomas Davis says he's most certainly going to play in the Super Bowl. He's still dealing with that injury and missed most of the game because of that injury. But he says he's going to be back, wouldn't miss it for the world. I tell you, it was an unbelievable electric atmosphere for the fans, for the team. And they took Arizona to the woodshed. This was a blowout from the start. Patrick?